I'm J.C. Jones, and I want to share with you today a word from the Lord. It comes from two passages of Scripture, and I'm going to paraphrase. Proverbs 23:7, as he thinketh in his heart, the A clause, so is he. And Proverbs 29:18, without a vision the people perish. He that keeps the law, happy is he. I want to talk today about the subject is you've got to see it. When you talk about winning on purpose, we talked first about assess your position. Know where you're starting at. Know how far you are from where you want to be. Because if I know how far I am from where I want to be, I got an idea of what it's going to take me to get there. I can be real about the fact of where I am. Then the second thing was to address our issues. Recognize your shortcomings. Recognize where you're missing it. Recognize what it is that's holding you back and begin to deal with it. The third thing is you have to see it. Our perception determines our reality. No matter what we want to do, until we perceive ourselves as being able to do it, until we perceive ourselves as deserving of doing it, then we're always going to sabotage what we're doing. Because our minds are so designed that they will always put us back to the place we perceive ourselves to be. They will always put us back to the place where we perceive we're supposed to be. What does that mean? That means if I think that I'm supposed to be broke, that I'm supposed to always be borrowing, always be in debt, then what my mind is going to do is the moment I get money in my hand, instead of me beginning to make some changes and begin to save and think about how I'm going to do and invest and make things happen in the future, I'll do silly things like buy things with no value, like spend money trying to be Big Willie. And everybody can be Big Willie when they got some money in their pocket. But you can't stay Big Willie long if you don't have a plan. So what begins to happen is, as I start making progress, the process of progress begins to collide with the mindset of who I think I am. And so I do things without knowing it that self-sabotages myself, self-destructive behavior. You can't understand why it is you would do something so stupid when you had so much to gain, when you were almost about to be where you were going and things were going right, and then all of a sudden you do something that is counterproductive that throws you right in the tailspin. Everybody's been there. I know I've been there. And the thing is that your mind is designed to keep you where you perceive you should be. My perception will determine not only my reality, but it will determine my action, my reaction, my interactions, and my transactions. It'll determine my actions. My actions reflect my sense of self-esteem or lack thereof. It reflects whether I believe that my time, my thoughts, my opinion is valuable. If I value myself and my time, I can't be party to foolishness. I don't have time for it. I can't be party to things that are going to be self-destructive if I got stuff to do. So then my actions will begin to reflect my sense of self-worth. Instead of me sitting down and constantly eating on chocolate cake and I'm trying to lose weight, then I begin to say, you know what, this is not fit with where I'm going. This is not fit with who I am. This is not fit with the person I'm becoming, so I got to put it down. If I begin to think about the fact that I don't want to be one that's known for being lazy or being lackadaisical, then me sitting in front of a TV all night, watching every reality show that comes on, sitting on the telephone all day, sitting up even on Facebook all day, playing games and just talking about nothing, really doesn't fit with who I am and where I'm going to be. You know, the most interesting thing was I used to watch a show called, what's the name of the show? Married with Children, with Al Bundy. And everybody related to Al Bundy, sitting there in front of the TV, holding himself, watching TV, and complaining about his wife and his kids, wishing he was somebody else. You know what was interesting was they interviewed the actor, and he had never seen the show because he doesn't watch TV. Then it began to hit me. This man's getting paid millions of dollars to keep me in front of the television, to keep me sitting there entertained, lulled into a sleep while life passed by me. You do not need to die with your dreams still in you. But in order for you to begin to win, you have to perceive that you are more than a couch potato. You are more than a spectator in life. You are a participator. You are somebody that's out there on the field making it happen. And in order to do that, you got to make some changes. So my perception is going to control my action. Then my perception is going to control my reaction. If I perceive myself to be somebody who's got a temper, who's constantly got to get you told, who's constantly got to make sure that no matter what, if I'm right, I'm right, and if you're wrong, and you're going to know about it, or who's constantly saying that, you know what, I can hold a grudge and I'll never forgive you for what you did, then guess what? You'll never change, and you'll never get anywhere. Because truth be told, there's a time to go to battle and there's a time not to. Never go to battle, and I got this from Bishop Jakes, where there is no spoils. If there's nothing to gain, then why bother? Why waste your energy and your time? The problem with inadequate reaction is if I don't value my time, I'll be involved in pettiness. If I don't value my mind, let my mind be absorbed in things that don't matter. When I think about some of the arguments I thought was important in high school, suddenly at this age, with these many bills, with these many things to do, with this much responsibility, those things were stupid. And I didn't know that until I began to realize that I need to assess value and stop assessing value where there is no value. So your reaction is determined by your perception of who you are. When I begin to see trouble now, I see it as just a catalyst to change. I begin to see that my trial leads to my triumph. I begin to see that whatever the trouble is, I can get through it because God's brought me through before. I begin to recognize that I can smile because with every test, every time you pass a test, there is a promotion. You ought to get excited about that thought right there. The word says he'll take you from faith to faith and glory to glory. But between each level of faith, each level of glory, there is a test. Because you have to be able to handle the success that's coming behind it. So my actions and my reactions are controlled by my perception. Not only my actions and my reactions, but my interaction. I will get involved and interact with people based upon the vantage point that I set in my perception. If I think I'm a victim, then I'm going to deal with people as a victim. I'm going to constantly set myself up to be victimized. I'm going to constantly set myself up to be gullible, to be taken. So many times over my life, I felt like a fool for falling for some of the stuff I fell for. Knowing I'm intelligent, knowing I got sense, knowing I can see them coming a mile away, but still just take it. Why? Because my perception was that I was the victim. You have to change your mindset. I may be speaking to some ladies right now who's been taking some crap for a long time. You need to change your mindset. You are no longer the victim, but the victor. You are no longer that one that can be stepped on, but you're the one that needs to be stepping out and stepping on to greater things. But you have to get in your head that you deserve better, that you need better, that you need to be better because you are better. You were born to win, but you've been conditioned to fail. You have to change your interactions because now I have to understand that I bring value to any situation I step into. When I go to work, I bring value. If I didn't bring value, they'd fire me. When I go into my place of business, I bring value. If I didn't bring value, I'd fail. I bring value because of who I am, my experiences, and what God has placed within me. And as I do that, my interaction with people changes because now I speak from a place of authority. I speak from a place of a mutual respect. Now hear this. Respect can never be demanded. It must be commanded. If I command respect, I don't have to ask you to do it. I don't have to beat my chest for you to respect me. You're either going to respect me or you don't. And don't hang around with people that don't respect you. If they don't respect you, you've got no place. Step to the left. I'm just excited. Because as you begin to see who you are, you'll begin to find yourself less victimized, and you'll find yourself growing into greater places in glory. God never meant for you to be under or beneath. God always meant for you to be above only. God only was meant for you to shine and to stand up and to show forth his glory. And you can't show forth his glory if you're constantly being the victim because your interactions are caused by your perception that you just don't belong. So your interactions are caused by your perception, but then also your transactions. As you begin to recognize that you have value, then you'll stay out of transactions, transacting your glory for garbage, transacting your time for travesty, transacting your hope for hopelessness, transacting your daylight and your destiny for depression. You have to understand something, that every moment you have is a blessing. So then these transactions, what I invest, my time has got to be invested in something that has some value. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. And every moment of time that I waste is when I can't get back. Watch this. That 5 seconds I just took from you, you can't get it back. And no matter what you do, no matter how much money you get, that 5 seconds is gone. Now, the truth is, when you look at the time you've wasted transacting your time, your mind space, your ears, your life, your breath in wasted activity, in things that don't bring you any closer to where you're going, you begin to understand that my perception of who I am has got to change so that I can make better transactions. Because my perception will determine my action, my reaction, my interaction, and my transactions. You've got to get a vision. You've got to begin to see this thing. See where you're going. See your goals. You're trying to lose weight. See yourself as being there. And if I was there, how would I respond? What would I be eating? How often would I work out? How would I not work out when I don't feel like working out? Listen, whatever it is that you strive to do, there are going to be times that you don't feel like doing it at all. But you know what? Success is not built on your feelings. Success is built on your actions. Success is built on you being consistent, persistent, and resilient. And so you've got to perceive yourself as being deserving of winning. You've got to get a picture. Find somebody that looks like you, that has your body shape, your body type, and get their picture. Put your head on it and begin to see yourself as becoming that person. Not them, but becoming you in the next body. And not just that, but begin to see yourself as being successful. See yourself out of debt. What do out of debt people do? They don't just run around throwing dollars in the air, as you see in the videos. They make decisions that begin to change lifestyles. You have to understand something. If I'm ever going to change, it's going to start with me. It's going to start with my perception, because my perception is going to cause me to make some decisions. You have to understand that your biggest critic is the inner voice on the inside, that doubtful critic that knows all about you, that knows all of your failures, and has branded you a failure because you failed at something. Listen, let me tell you something. Failure is not a person, it's an event. You're a winner. And when I look back on it, all of my failures had led to me starting to win. Because truth be told, it's not what you do that makes you successful. It's learning what not to do that makes you successful. Listen, when I look at construction, I've been in construction 20 some odd years. Every rule made in construction was made because somebody lost some money. And so the more we begin to utilize these things to our advantage and these experiences to our advantage, the less we lose, the more we gain. It's the same thing in anything. It's the same thing in life. So you messed up in a marriage. So you messed up in fathering. So you messed up. Pick up, dust off, pick it up, because now at this point, you've learned something. And so you got to tell that inner voice that keeps telling you that you're a loser, I'm not, I'm a winner. That I belong in this club of winners. I belong to this group of successful people. I deserve to win because I was born to win. And because now my action is that of a winner. My reaction is that of a winner. My interaction is that of a winner. My transaction is that of a winner. You have to understand that every mistake was God grooming you for success, so that when you finally get it, you'll know what to do with it. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. And ultimately, winning, get this and remember this, winning is going to be the outward expression of correct inner conversation. Your inner battle with the doubtful inner critic. Your job is to convince that inner critic of your desire to win, of your deserving to win, of the fact that you desire so much that you're going to aspire to win, that you are inspired to win, and you will not retire from your effort until you do win. You've got to see it before you ever see it, because if you can see it, God is grooming you that you can be it. God bless you. Have a great week.